His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Akuffo Addo eti phone Efre John Dramani Mahama epa na chew se aircraft na one to papa se amampanyin de betu kwan no eyenem phone so ena MPP phone na niabre. Another secret about one thing. Felix Ofusu kwakye head of communication for the president, the current government, and no ako granted interview on Asempa FM. Na secret ne bombs are all tobano MPP for na no be yedin. Monim say recently MPP for na soja de agu Felix Ofusu kwakye submit Jemfi any foreign affairs minister aye okujeto ablakwa so mudi Nana Addo atem abra MPP yes or mokoto private jet and in neya NDC kotobino they should resign. And a Felix Ofusu kwakye se masa unim ni amoka esansa mo president na kra no agene mfon so atum MPP pen for no kra jo mfon so atum said that time no na niema Ghana hia na enye private jet na Ghana hia niema nti nei MPP fa mo yedi so mo resign no mo resign ne omo mpa Nana Addo achew ne mpa Nana Addo achew chana they will still maintain their position and NDC will buy a new private jet for the presidency in Ghana. And then some no kind, young video no on how Felix Ofusu kwakye insisted that NDC for no on better private jets and be omo resign and omo mpa MPP for achew on some no more kind na ye no kre na mpo Nana Addo na also poor macho. Don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Truth Politics. Nebeke Jubiano, ye de bebre.
Oh, Nana Addo ndi bia yeboko.
Omampanyin so ho ye de.
Obia ho ye.
Ye da nyame ase. Enti edikan walk us through. I mean, we knew say Mufri has Sunday and Yumre, but we realized say Enra Anopa, which is Tuesday morning, mum, and Amuko Drew, Japan. Why? What happened? Omampanyin ejina baby for baby ana.
Obi, medasi de. Am say enkomodi aba ewo Omampanyin akwantu ho no. Ne fiber na wo kan nyina abomu a a certain desperate attempt by MPP Amani Nkono say amemu boni a ombebu ya na emu fando do na no afesika sagi ho aye do ne say wasteful expenditure yemu bi ekaseti aye Ghana fo kaseti aye ne ya adwen to abeti awo mo ena mo pese mo pe kwande so fa e de yese de ye no omo ye bi anaso mpo no esan se ye kaseti asa ne ye nti akofa ahokyere bi e de abro Omampanyin wona kwantuo mu e shafiesi asemo a ye Vincent Asifo ye MP for Tafo e de betu dwa na enye no kre enra menya ne ntia se wa wo confront no to set the record straight eno no anya adwuma no na abeton from memu MPP for bi any even some media persons na nam no mo ka so yen NDC for yen fa acho pamra because of the criticism be leveled against Akuffo Addo na se bi yen koto jet and asi yen bi fofo Emma Omampanyin akwantu. That is the summary of nkomodi a ekoso nokure wo mu ne se san nkomodi no enne nokure ebo ebra. The first point ne say aircraft anase Omampanyin ewie mu hye ho nkomodi enye honorable ablakwa enne share san nkomodi na se Ghana abakosi mu wo be gisa woni esikakra at least you are in your early 40s.
Yes.
As far back as the late 90s, President Rollins buying Equator Gulf Stream through a special purpose vehicle arrangement. Buying on HSBC Bank. You know. A year in Shen Omampanyin etumukwan ensam. Abeya ensam Ghana. At the time, na ononyanfo Hakman Uswajiman, only ranking member of foreign affairs. Almost already here, Rollins abandoned the day say all part of Gulf Stream. Say the Omampanyin did it too. In fact, Abra MP before Babemu 2001, Omantenikufor, for all the 8 years of baby Oman was one Tinasa go to no da. Because first, almost a Sikase, and number two, they were even claiming that because of the special purpose vehicle arrangement through Galilee, you know, but Nibiakoso. I thought you know, assigned to a committee chaired by the late J.H. Mensah, and NASA and Foreign Minister, Ononyan for Safumafu, and then presidential spokesman, coordinate the point. Aya Bendes, say almost share God's film, mentor in the moon, and some. Interestingly, Omen Hushi, so many people because not Bonia Bianco. And you know, towards the tail end of the Akuffo administration, almost on August film, no, adequate simulated for China. And what I'm saying, between 2010 and 2011, our president knows about no year say, or per se or top. If you send him Ghana, Afrafo, Akuffo my Embraer, lay 100-seater jet for Ghana Armed Forces, Air Force, and other aircraft to be. Okay, they are before you. In fact, I mean, you know, almost the actual some aircraft, the two President Mama, so say President Note investigating. So, okay.
Yes.
For corruption. And I'm a They opposed it vigorously in Parliament.
Yeah, because I think I don't know when Honorable Martin Amidu raised it the first time. No, Martin Amidu in one of his epistles.
Martin Amidu never spoke about any investigation of Mahama. Martin before the drop for several years on that matter. I'm tracing this to let you know. Say, Omanpeni went to an area to the day, it didn't start with Honorable Black MP before person. This is the history of the MPP as far as presidential aircraft. And in fact, the general purchase of aircraft for Ghana is concerned. So than Kenya, somewhere between 2021 to 2023. And the two that say, Omanpeni Akuffo Addo or renting aircraft via the border was through. So I'm not sure movie my indeed. In Tia Science started somewhere in 2018. Now or rentals are aircraft. No. The mere rental of aircraft can be some. Of course, if you can show say presidential jet, and what touch now we get alternative arrangement and say no problem. There are two options. Either so we call commercial and now say over rented aircraft. In that moment, in the rental, you go for an optional, but it's a functional, safe, but never needs to affect the public purse, especially at the time there was severe economic crisis. A binance to the catch Ghana for no more bond the bondholders 1.3 million. So, oh, yes, you cannot, as a president, in the face of this, go for extravagant aircraft. That was the point. Not Honorable Ablakwa all the time. Indeed, at the time, they hadn't even told us that there was a problem with the presidential aircraft until say Honorable need to about Parliament. They can't and that can so some company any. So Ghana for righteously condemned the Akuffo Addo administration for extravagance. Omanpeni Mahama 2013 to 2017, there were periods now there were problems with the presidential jet. One rented that kind of expensive aircraft. Indeed, Maka or program so that let's repeat. So there was a time Omanpeni Mahama to find now economy from Lufthansa, Germany to Accra. Number of flights in movie, so I know. People bet me for renting aircraft, expensive one. Say presidential jet not serenity. That he sat in an aircraft and an economy seating one. They didn't even have business class. Lufthansa, or never buy. In the alternative, no offer commercial. Many national commercial aircraft need to find and pay the bill. When and about Abemu 2025. Now what's it to find be? The first thing here and they say, honorable until for your question. So okay.
Yes, I remember.
So he gave the details of the state of the aircraft. So that is the state of the aircraft as we speak. You see, and it's not available to fly. It's Omanpeni Mahama. In previous cases, he has still used the Jata jet if it is available. So it's not available. And now say into we call long haul flighter or use commercial. Say we use Emirates. Obi, I'm sure the way to find you are familiar with the way aircrafts run. So what far aircraft now will transit here? The aircraft are over 80 original. And they call the base of the aircraft, which is in this case, Emirates, Dubai. It's a whole other to transit. Woko Emirates, almost longer in Peninsula, Etna, France waiting to connect a flight. In the case of President Mamano, he is also a president, so there are security and diplomatic arrangements. Sometimes between the foul, tarmac, at the Woko, a holding area, waiting for the connecting flight. Sometimes the embassy officials will make arrangements. So, what will be a year there be a separate opinion before connecting to where you are going. It's no man paying mama option. Say the same extravagant rental of jets, $17,000 an hour, and up as Akuffo Addo and baby. But I said there be near the most comfortable option. But at least and far or how the Ghana your football. Until I will go through this route, there are adequate arrangements. A bit maybe you could do. If any way I do before the staff, I seeking vindication say, Uloyan for a black one, and me and others are cassetia. That wasteful expenditure in the time of economic hardship. No, there's nothing to apologize for. But tell me no can do. The aircraft Falcon no, France. That's all for maintenance. Say Eba. Na military aircraft assess it. No more so I did to you to concern the call Angola, the call Tanzania, Wabba Mama Beko Janson. If you have it will be used. If they determine, say the DA do know it is not safe for that kind of flight, until other arrangements will be made in terms of who say you better for sure, and nothing will make any other arrangement. It's something that will be discussed openly and transparently to go through due process and will be able to know this. But since here and there, is to put an end to this mischievous commentary. And before said they want to equalize. Nobody owes him an apology for criticizing wasteful, extravagant rental of jets. Jets. And yet, luxurious aircraft, a functional, this would work with the person who could be if it is in good shape. It is not luxurious. Mama watching him several times, several times to coin. He could have gone to rent similar aircraft and Mama Akuffo Addo. But President Mama does not believe so by a Mampenia for a minute car a year the Obi. Which way? Eduma Woody, a market yam. And no wash the Atoka, and as I said, one of the mouse square, how much on the Amama. However, such Namuna would that no back me. Our bra in your personal life won't mention fear. Won't you be liable for criticism?
Yes.
Car $500,000, $500,000. Now won't mean to you must fees. Am I not entitled to criticize your behavior?
But
if on another occasion, Sawato, Corolla, na Camry, and now say Hyundai, and now Kia been out the more. Everybody will so say, oh, what is you are living within your means? While at the same time making sure say if you so wash Roma. That is what President Mama is doing. But Nipokoto may back not come and tell you simply because you are riding a Kia and not your card into the patch of Okati. That is what the NPP is telling us.
Very well. The answer, the answer to the question I asked earlier, and it said yes. The meaning, sir, yes. Acquiring a new presidential jet, is not off the table completely.
Oh, it can never be off the table. Now, at the beginning of this conversation, we can see the history of presidential jet.
Absolutely.
It even goes back to some point in time. Our quarter for 27, for 28, and I'm here trying to fly in coffee. So, okay. In the mid-90s, it became a huge issue. Indeed, on one or two occasions, there were some scares for the president. I think President Rollins at the time when he sat in the FOCA, 28, and 27. I recall, even as recently as 2011, 2012, the FOCA 28 was still flying. Maximum Yakukumaseda when I was in government. So it can never be off the table. Except that when you get to the point of making that decision now, you consider all factors. In terms of cost-benefit analysis, that is not what the Akuffo Addo government did. They didn't choose the cost-effective approach. They chose extravagance. Indeed, Abra honorable could have 2 years I exposition. So the pictures here at the bar, a year authentic. I want to mean come once somebody be. We also said no, this is a bit too lavish. The cost is too much. If I make actually analysis, say, there are cars that sell for $400,000 and it will be so $100,000. It is $80,000. It will have rented with you so. Now, won't you your bus now for top $100,000 car? People will definitely criticize you.
But on the evidence of what has happened almost 8 months into this new government, about the Falcon, say a call for repairs near who corrosion bene ade. Wouldn't it ground the fact, say, comments made about the Falcon being in pristine condition, fit for purpose, were not factually true at the time they were made?
At the time, it was fit for purpose. Oh, the massacre action, let me repeat it again. For me, President in the first 2-3 months, Martina presidential aircraft 3 times to 3 different countries. Nothing otherwise, the Air Force will never permit the president to sit in it.
Okay, in the meaning,
but it doesn't mean that subsequently, if you detect, Chimatobia Abawa, don't address it. In fact, we fit the Awuchi. Meaning to know for an affair and autonomy. But me assure that between the time autonomy and CCI, it would have given you problems before.
Yes.
You will fix that could be solved a battery and after once in a while the engine may give you a problem, but you will fix it. A time will come up because okay, the be a break if I do a cost benefit analysis, I'm a top of a into my main tone way, my main is also on top of it. You can do that. But at the point where you needed it, it took you where you wanted to go and back. You have to consider your finances, the state of the economy, whether you are able to afford, whether it is necessary. But the point is that Abra, Akuffo Addo said there was a problem with the Falcon, and that he needed an alternative. No, the alternative he went for was over the top. That was the basis for the criticism of Honorable Ablakwa and people like myself.
Very well.
It was not about whether the aircraft was in pristine condition or not. No. Indeed, if we determine that the aircraft is in pristine condition, now we just here, Ghanaians have the right to criticize you. But if there's a fault, a genuine fault, then you have to make alternative arrangements, either through commercial and after work or make an arrangement that is cost effective.
Very well.